Hi, I'm Sebolelo, the estate agent, and welcome to my channel where we discuss all things real estate for first-time home buyers and first-time home owners. So yesterday, the Monetary Policy Committee met and they decided to keep interest rates the same, which means prime remains at 11.75%, right? That means our bond repayments are not going to change if you're a homeowner. We do know that when interest rates go up, we pay more for our bonds, and when interest rates come down, our premiums come down. But what does this mean if you're a home buyer or you're somebody who's trying to get into the market? So I had a conversation last week with a young lady who was in a bit of a panic. She saw a property, she liked it, she put in an offer, and now she's feeling like she's having buyer's remorse because she feels as though maybe she should have waited for interest rates to come down before she actually bought a property. So she's only recently signed, and I said to her, the property's still on the property portals. So I said, send me the link, let me take a look at it. So she sent it to me, I looked at it, and I couldn't believe the difference between the property and the price. It was like, wow. And I literally phoned her up and I was like, Mugal, you've struck gold. Do not feel bad. You are onto like the jackpot right here. And it really got me thinking that maybe I should do a video explaining the cycles in the property market. So you'll be able to understand that buying in a time when the interest rates are high is not necessarily a bad thing. In fact, it's got a lot of positives. And I thought we could just look at some of that right now. During COVID, there was a massive buying spree. Like everybody and their grandmothers were buying property. There was this hashtag, now is the time to buy movement. And people were talking about the fact that it's cheaper to own than it is to rent. And at the time, it was 100% true. Because if you were staying in a 1 million rand property as a tenant, you'd be paying, depending on the area, I would say we can round it off and say about 10,000 rand, right? But at interest rates at 7% at the time, if you had bought the same property, you'd be paying 7,800 rand a month, which is pretty awesome. But then interest rates went up 10 times in a row. And now this million rand property, the bond repayment has now moved up to 10,900 rand. So now this person who's bought this property must now just come up with 2,100 rand out of like nowhere, because you need to come up with the money to pay your bond. And if you're finding yourself in a position where you've got a car payment, credit cards, personal loans, anything like that, then you're under a lot of pressure. If you're still watching, I'm going to assume it's because you find the content interesting. I'd like to encourage you to like and subscribe, as well as follow on social media. It's Sebolelo _ the estate agent. So in the example of this person who bought for 1 million rand, let's call her Karabo, right? Karabo bought for 1 million rand. So now she's under pressure with these premium hikes, and she's thinking maybe she should downgrade and, move into something smaller. What Karabo doesn't realize is that she is the overall average. All of us are under pressure. All of us are looking to downgrade. So at the moment, there is a massive supply of property. We as estate agents have got so much stock and a shortage of qualified buyers. Back in 2020-21, if you wanted to buy a 1 million rand property, you needed to be earning about 27,000 rand. So now, in order to buy the same property with interest rates at 11.75, you need to be earning 36,000 rand. So that is substantially more. So while she's got her house on the market, a person might come through, like the house, but they don't get the affordability because they don't earn as much money. So Karabo wants to now sell her property, but because she's the overall average, there are other people in the complex or on the street that are also selling their properties. So in order to make hers more attractive, compared to the others, she then lowers her price, right? Along come Robert Lee Dineo. Robert Lee Dineo are like, okay, we like the house, we want to buy it, but we only earn 31,000 rand, which means we qualify for 870. And Karabo is thinking, sure, that's a big drop, but at least then I'll have less financial worries. And at least this is actually like the first people that have shown genuine interest in this property. So as a result, Robert and Dineo walk away with a property of R1 million, which they bought for 870,000. But let's say our buyers had decided to wait for interest rates to come down before they get into the market. Now, interest rates coming down, you remember that means that Karabo's premiums will have come down, her car purchase comes down, her credit card installment comes down. So her bond repayment, which was initially 10.9, has now come down to 10.6. And she's thinking to herself, everything else has come down. Do I really want to sell? I don't know. But Karabo is the overall average. So all the other properties in the street or all the other properties in the complex, everybody's thinking the same thing. So Karabo thinks, okay, that's fine, I'll sell, but I'm not going to take anything less than 950,000 for this R1 million house. That's it. That's my decision. I'm sticking to it. Robert and Dineo still only earn 31,000 coming into the market, but now because interest rates have come down, they've got more buying power. So they've got now access to 920. So they're thinking, great, we can even buy a nicer house. Only problem is because Karabo is under less pressure, she's now decided she's not going to take less than 950. And Robert and Dineo only qualify for 920, which means they now don't have access to this property. So the first thing that's going to happen once interest rates come down is there's going to be less stock. Less people are going to be under pressure to sell, which means that you as a buyer are going to have less options available to you, and it's going to mean that the sellers are less negotiable on their price. What I'm saying is, as a qualified, serious buyer right now, you've got a lot of purchasing power. You must remember that when interest rates come down, you're not going to be punished just because you bought when interest rates are high. When they come down, your bond repayments are going to come down as well. They're going to come down just like everybody else's. So it's not like you are going to be stuck paying a high premium just because you bought when interest rates were high. Maybe my example of buying a R1 million property for 870 might be a bit extreme in your specific region, but you get the point. If you are a serious qualified buyer right now, I wouldn't skimp out on the opportunities that you have in your favor that you can use to your advantage. That's it for now. I'll catch you in the next video.